Good morning, everybody. We'll now be beginning with the press conference. First of all, thank you so much for sparing time to be here today. If I could introduce the gentleman on my left. First of all, we have Mr. Raj Athwal, President of Odisha FC. To his left, Mr. Josep Gombau, Head Coach of the senior team, and Mr. Clifford Miranda, who's the Assistant Coach for the senior team. In case after the press conference, if you want any one-on-ones or exclusive bites, please let our media team know. They can arrange that for you after that. So now the procedure we'll follow is that in case you have questions, you can raise your hand and we'll pass over the mic to you, and you can then direct your questions to them one by one. Right. We can start if you have any questions.
On the coach, what's your planning for this season?
Thank you. Thank you so much. I am so happy to be here again. And I'm so grateful to the management of the club to bring me this opportunity to become the coach of Odisha FC again. And this year I think is a nice year for all of us. We are back to Odisha after 2 seasons that the Indian Super League was in a bubble. And I saw many changes here. The facilities are much better. We can see that the government and the club did a very good job together, and the plan is to do a strong team and to make that the people from Odisha be proud of our club and our team.
My second question is to Mr. Raj. What is the reason behind to get back Mr. Gombau again?
Jai Jagannath, good morning to everyone and welcome to the press conference today. I want to say thank you for everyone for making the time. Joseph was almost a non-brainer. He's been here before. He was very successful in his previous managerial role, and the attributes, the skill set he brings, his experience, knowledge, is exactly where we are today as a football club and what we require. And so for the senior team, the management and the ownership, Joseph was the right man for us.
So, your question.
ओडिशा एफसी का लास्ट ईयर जो परफॉर्मेंस था, do you think this year this will be improved or going to decrease? Will do the better
Coach,
than the last year?
Coach, you can take the question. Basically, based on last year's performance, do you expect there to be an increase in the performance this year? Do you think we'll improve this year?
Yes, of course. Always that you start a new project, you expect to improve the team, no, and to bring your own small details that help the team to grow. And this is the idea. We have almost a new team because we signed. We had 6 new foreign players and we had 3 new Indian players. And I think that there is 9 new players in the squad, which this makes like almost half of the team. And we are all working, starting today all together. And the challenge that we have is to put all this team on place in this position to arrive to the league in a good shape. But for sure that this is the aim, that to try to improve what the team did last season. And of course, try to be in these playoffs and try to win the league.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Any more questions?
So I have to ask you. I have to ask you that to Mr. Joseph sir, who do you think among the Indian players have the potential to develop more this season?
From our team,
Yes.
yes, we have young players that they are good, and we need to work with them and trust them and bring the opportunities. We have a very good pool of young players, starting from Shubham, from Narendra, from Toriba. All these players are very young. Isaac, we have Jerry is not that young, but also is young. We have a good pool of players, and also a lot of players coming from the reserve teams that they are having the role, that they are training with us, and for sure during the season they can jump into the first team, like David, like Aksuna. I think that we can have good players, and I like to work with young players, and they are ready to bring the opportunity to them to play.
Another question, Odisha FC will be participating in the Durand Cup. Your thoughts on that?
Yes, for us it's an important tournament. It's the second oldest tournament in the world, which is something that for us as a club is something big to play, and we are happy to play the Durand Cup. We take the Durand Cup seriously. We have all the players in town today, just missing the players that are coming this week because they were arranging his visa, and we will take the Durand Cup seriously, and we will try to win the Durand Cup.
Also, I have a question for Raj sir. Sir, have you interacted with the fans yet? And what do you think? What is the roles of the fans during this season? Because last 2 seasons, because of COVID, you and all the clubs, they were unable to interact with the fans. So this season, you are back in Odisha. So what is your thoughts about the fans' roles?
Yeah, as you said, we've had a 2-year absence due to COVID, and it's been a difficult time, not just for the football club, the supporters, but it's also the staff, because half the staff were in Gobo for 2 years, and some of the staff are working silo here. So we've not really had any real interaction with the supporters other than perhaps through social media. What's important is that we do engage with them and the whole community, not just the supporters. I think our role now as a football club is to use sport to galvanise all communities across boys, girls, through school programmes, community initiatives. So whilst football is important and we use that as a tool, it's also important that we connect with all communities and actually get them to engage in sport. So we use football to do that. So there's a huge infrastructure that we've invested in with the support of various partners and stakeholders that I'm happy to discuss it shortly.
Any further questions? I'll just like to ask a few questions that have come in from online publications who sent in their questions because they couldn't be here. The first question, Clifford, for you. What, according to you, are the ingredients needed for local talent within the state to develop into top players in the future? What, according to you, is needed for local talent within the state to develop into top players in the future?
In my opinion, the first thing that comes to my mind, and first thing that we should start the club as such, and the people here should start doing is the culture. The first thing that we need to change is the culture. If you want, if the state wants to develop players, if you want to have as many players as from this state, you need to develop a culture. What I mean by culture? What I mean by culture is, is the thing that's the general norm in all over India. It's like when we have our kids, when we, for example, if I have my son or if we have kids, what we tell them? Do we tell them to go and play sports, or we tell them to go and do studies? We tell them to go and do studies, no? So it's important that we get them to football. And for that, it's just not the parents, it's everyone associated with as a community, as press people, as parents, as the state government. Everyone must get involved to bring in this culture. And because I see young kids here in this when I move around, and I see the structure. The structure is fantastic. The physical structure is really nice. Something that you need to, something you just need to, not much to develop, but to get the right kind of football culture into it, you need to start from the grassroots. Give them a platform where they can develop as football players. Encourage them to play football. I'm saying football in particular, to play football, and slowly by slowly you start having grassroots development, start having academies, get as many players as possible. If you get 100 players, all 100 will not be footballers. Maybe out of 100 you will get maybe 1 or 2, but at least a beginning. So you need to change the culture.
Thank you, Clifford. The next few questions, Raj, are for you. The club has recently announced the launch of its women's team. What impact do you think that will have on the football landscape here in the state?
Yeah. First of all, we're one of the first clubs to launch a professional women's team, and I think what's important is that we want to provide a professional platform for the ODIA female players. So whilst there has to be a healthy balance between ODIA players and non-ODIA players, the objective is to ensure that girls across the state, through various initiatives, programs, are taught football and are shown what we can do through all of our packages. And so I think that currently we have 4 national team players signed with us. There's various more in the pipeline, and the whole purpose of this is to get especially girls playing football, understanding sport, exercise, and there's a lot of other disciplines that come around playing the game. And so for us, developing is a long-term ambition. The owners are very, very keen to ensure that it's developed. And women's football is growing worldwide, and we want India to be not just ODIA teams, but national teams to be playing amongst some of the best in the world. And we can be, because the talent in this country is phenomenal, and certainly most of the top players are actually from Odisha. So yeah, we're keen to continue the progress, and we will do all we can to provide the infrastructure and the resources for the state of Odisha, and especially for the girls.
Just following up on that question, Raj, your thoughts on the close working relationship we have with the Departments of Sports and Youth Services and the kind of support that they've been providing to the club so far?
Yeah, the support we've had from different sectors, the government has been unwavering, and we totally thank them for that, because it's allowed us as a football club to perhaps offer the state various things. So it's not just football. Just to be very clear, we're about to launch our academy, a residential academy, being one of the first in the country for elite youth, boys and girls. So they'll have an opportunity to be educated as well as playing football. We're about to launch our reserve team. Majority of those will be from Odisha, so there's a pathway for players from Odisha to not only see players playing at senior and top level football, but it will encourage young kids, because football in India is growing exponentially at a young age. And I think equally importantly, and I know the coaches are supporting the club, we also have to start at 8 years of age. We can't start at 13. If we are to progress, not just as a football club, but as on a national level, you have to start coaching at a very, very young level. They should know the basics by the time they get to 13. And so as I said, we're here to give our knowledge, our experience, and help, obviously, Odisha first and foremost. That's our priority. But long-term wise, for the Indian ecosystem, it will also help the national team. And over and above that, we are about to conduct several community packages and initiatives across not just Bhubaneswar, Cuttack and Rourkela, but other districts as well, to expose people, boys and girls, to football and to widen participation. And that's going to be our engagement strategy. So there's a whole package. It's not just football. There's a whole package of various key pillars that we're doing. And I'm happy to discuss that with anybody, either now or after the press conference, to give you more of an idea of why we're here, what we're trying to achieve, and it goes beyond football.
Thank you, Raj. The next few questions are for you, Coach. Firstly, what are the targets that you've set for yourself and your coaching staff this season? And the second part is your thoughts on the infrastructure and the change and improvement in infrastructure you've seen within the state, because you're here now after 2 years. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, first of all, as a head coach of Odisha, we know, and the coaching staff, that we are in the professional football, which this became the most important are the results. and the target is, of course, to be competitive in even single competition that we play, in the Durand Cup, in the Indian Super League and the Indian Super Cup, and try to win as much trophies as we can. And to get this, we need to be in playoffs, and this is the idea. We will work very hard to try to make that the team will be successful and we get a good result. And the second question that you asked me about the infrastructure, I think that I left Odisha in February 2020. I come back today, and there are a big difference. You can see how the training pitch are, more training pitch, top world-class facilities in terms of the grass. The stadium is under renovated and is in a very good condition. I think that we are now ready to come back and to bring the football back here to Odisha. And I want to congratulate the government and all the people that make this possible. And for sure that we will do a very good job, and we will do that. The people from Odisha is proud of his club.
Thank you, Coach. Clifford, the next few questions are for you. Could you share your initial impressions about the Indian players in the squad, because you've had some time with them? And secondly, your thoughts about working with an experienced coach like Josep, who's coached in the Super League before?
About the Indian players that we have at the moment, I think they have a lot of potential. There are some players who I think can go on to represent the country. Just a small details that as for the players that are in our team, I think we have some really good talented players. There are some players I believe, I truly believe that can go on to represent the country. And of course, we need to work on them. I'm sure Joseph will let me know that then I'm sure we'll do a job. We'll do a job together to try to develop them further, so they can get even better. In this way, they can get better for the club and for themselves as well, where they can progress. There are a few players in our team as well who have come through the system, through the age group, which is fantastic. Something that the club can be proud of, and something that will encourage the club to invest more in the youth, because there should come a time where the players, should come through the system, rather than we taking players on our side. So the idea should be to develop as many players as possible, and that should come through the system, which I believe is, as the club has already made a start. About working with Joseph, for me it's a fantastic experience. I've had before joining the club, I've had a discussion with him, and he convinced me that this is the way forward for me. For me, it was important that my career personally as a coach progresses in the right direction, and I believe working under him, learning from him, working together with him and his coaching staff, I'm sure I'm gonna progress in a positive way. So I'm looking forward to working with him and for the betterment of the club.
Thank you, Clifford. Raj, the final question for you is, could you share more light on our partnership with English club Watford FC and Brazilian top flight club Abhik, because I'm sure people would like to know exactly what stage of the partnership we are in and how it will benefit the club and the state as a whole.
Last season we decided to create partnerships with various clubs worldwide, and we had to ensure this not just a partnership, we had substance. And Watford Football Club, where I was previously working, were very open to working with Odisha Football Club. And then, as you all know, we signed Abhik. We're the first Indian Super League team to have a partnership with a Brazilian football club. Now, the partnerships itself are sharing best practice, so they will help us with analysis, technical, commercial, across all sectors. And we have regular meetings with them as well. We were also planning to do a pre-season in London this year, but because of COVID and because of the Premier League starting at a different time, a pre-season starting differently, we were struggling. But next season the plan is to have a pre-season there where we can engage with not just the Indian community. Our players will have an opportunity to play with players from a similar standard. They can see the training ground facilities, and it's also to raise the standard and give them and inspire them to perhaps one day play, whether it's in Spain or England or Europe generally, and it's to give them a push and ambition as well. But the partnership, as I said, it's a long-term deal, and we're there to support them. They want to footprint in India, and equally we want to learn from them of how we can work together. So it's a very viable and fruitful partnership. And as I said, we are talking to them regularly, to the management, from football to non-football, so right across the board. And it's for us to strive to excellence and bring as much knowledge and experience to Odisha Football Club, essentially.
Finally, Raj, would you like to conclude and give the closing address?
Yeah. Someone asked me earlier this week, it was my first time to Bhubaneswar. I've actually been to India twice, as Goa and here, and I feel like an Odia person. I genuinely mean that. I've bought into Odisha, I've bought into what everybody wants here. The government support has been unwavering. As Joseph alluded to, the facilities are fantastic. I mean, I was with the coaches the other day, and they said, I believe we probably have the best training ground in the ISL, certainly pitches wise. The stadium, the infrastructure that the government have built is unbelievable, and so we're very fortunate and lucky to have that support. But now it's up to us to take this to the next level. We want to win the league, we want to be in the playoffs, we want to be a club that this state can be proud of, the people of Odisha can be proud of. Because at the moment there is a difficulty with football. We're not the most or the number one sport perhaps in India, but that's down to us to make that change. We're here now, we're based here, and we are custodians for you people. And we people feel part of this. This is our state now. And we're proud to be here. So all I'm going to say is we will give you everything we can, and we'll give you all the best we can to make people of Odisha proud of their football club. And thank you for your time and taking the time to be here today to listen to us.
Thank you, Raj. With that, just a couple of pointers while we end. If you, like I said, if you want any personal interactions, one-on-one, our media team is here to help you facilitate that. And point number 2 is the club will be hosting its kit launch, jersey launch on the 12th and 13th of August. And all of you are invited, and our media personnel will be in touch with you to give you more details. Thank you once again for coming out here today and helping us get our message across. And once again, if you have any questions, you can approach our media team and we can facilitate some one-on-ones for you if you want. Thank you so much, everybody.